renowned GIS firm from California, Tribune. You can check Tribune because they've done it in some other major cities. We want to use what we have in terms of our GIS system, which is not fully functional right now, to actually upscale it and use it for the data planning. Because we will say that it is a major improvement on our land administration. You should be able to pay for land and purchase land from your internet or from your iPad, anywhere you are. That's what that upgrade of the GIS system will allow us to do. If you are changing an email or you are doing some mortgage or the bank is doing anything, they should be able to see the property from wherever they are, and that's become a fee. So the whole thing revolves around our Office of Overseas Affairs and Investment, that we should be able to do business for people without them going to any of our ministries. All the things that we said during the campaign about opening up Lagos and letting Lagos start to be globally competitive, we mean it, and this is part of the step that we have to do that.
In the health sector, opportunities abound for people interested in partnering the state government in the provision of advanced community-based healthcare infrastructure and its services. This would curb medical tourism abroad, estimated at 81 billion naira annually, and with the reduction of pressure on the naira through reduced demand for foreign exchange. Investment in health sector focuses on establishment of clinics, maternities and hospitals, manufacturing of medical equipment, drugs and medical consumables, operation of rescue operations or emergency ambulance services, and the provision of health insurance scheme, diagnostics, laboratory and pathological services located within or outside public health facilities. In order to encourage seamless participation by private investors, a legal regulatory framework for private sector finance in construction, development, operations and maintenance of infrastructure will be provided by the Lagos State Roads, Bridges and Highways Infrastructure Development Law that has been in existence since the year 2004. There is also the Office of Public-Private Partnership, the PPP, which regulates and coordinates all activities under private sector participation. At the national level, there is the Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission Law of 2005, which provides the framework for concession and other public-private partnership contractual agreements. Apart from core infrastructure development, Lagos State government has identified some key sectors that offer great prospects for investments. The first of these is agriculture. A major concern for the state is how to boost agricultural production, which currently stands at 10% of local consumption. The need to ensure food security for the state, projected to be the third largest megacity in the world by the year 2015, and reverse the ugly trend of importing 90% of foods consumed in the state, provides enormous business opportunities for investors. Instructively, Lagos has large hectares of arable land fit for commercial farming, fishery and forestry or wildlife conservation. These are located in reserved agricultural lands located at Araga, Itoikin, Igbola, Ajara, Badagry, Lekki and Ikorodu amongst other areas. Among the product or enterprise already identified for intensive farming include rice, coconut, cassava, vegetable, livestock and aquaculture amongst others.
Our soils, are fertile, and we have a very conducive environment for these enterprises to thrive. So this is a big opportunity for investors, both directly and indirectly, to come into Lagos to invest in the agricultural value chain, particularly in the area of value addition. When you now go into value addition, you now see a lot of these products, be it fish, pig, that's the pork, or the poultry meat and vegetable. You can do a lot by adding value to them, by turning them into secondary products, by establishing factories and processing lines in Lagos. So these are opportunities that are also in Lagos because the population is there to take up a lot of the things that is produced, and even their proximity to the international airport and to the seaport makes us an attractive place for agricultural investment.
The environment is another sector that beckons on investors, and the first area of focus is the production and distribution of clean and safe potable water. The sector is already engaging private operators not only in this regard, but also in form of concessions for the management of sewage and wastewater. With about 10,000 metric tons of waste being generated daily, enormous potential exists in the areas of waste management and conversion of waste to wealth. Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, already pioneered this new direction by engaging private sector participators in waste collection. It commenced the capturing of methane gas from Olusosun landfill sites and conversion of waste to plastic pellets, waste bags and organic fertilizer under its waste to wealth programs. However, all these activities still take a fraction of the waste being generated, thus requiring the entrance of more investors.
The opportunities are huge. Primarily, we see the sector as a problem sector initially, and for any good investor, you roll the line of what we call the PPP. All right, the acronym for that, what we are all used to, is a public-private partnership. No, the PPP we're talking of here is problem is a potential prospect. All right, so every sector where you think you have problem, that means there's a prospect there for investment, because you'll be looking for solution providers in that area. So the waste management sector started from that angle. And what we did at the waste management sector was to identify the gaps. Then we defined the value chain in the gaps. And we're able to profile the investment potentials in that gap. And definitely we're able to attract investors. And I think if you look at the state right now, it's one of the key sectors where you have a lot of participation by investors, both local investors and foreign investors. And if you look at the sector itself, the annual turnover in the sector is about $100 million annual turnover. So, and it's still counting, because it's like we're not halfway through into the potentials in the sector. We're just probably at best we've scratched 20% of the issues that is bringing 80% effect. We still have a lot of things to do. We still have 80% of the work yet undone. And I can tell you it's an investor's delight.
In spite of being an industrial city with existing power demand standing at 2,000 megawatts, Lagos, like other parts of Nigeria, still experiences unstable power supply from the Ikeja Electric Distribution Company, a development which has rubbed off negatively on the status of the state as the energy load center of the nation. This experience prompted the state government to conceive the idea of independent power plants, IPPs, in 1999.
That's the way to go. I think we have a grid system that is going to take forever to put right. It's been dilapidated over years. Even NERC came out with a publication encouraging more embedded generating and captive power plants. And this is where we're going. So in terms of sustainability, this is the way to go. In fact, the way Lagos State has gone on with the IPPs is actually the best way to go. Try and free up certain areas from the grid so that power is spread all over.
Lagos State, being a very responsive government, it's a government that works. So we can work with a government that works. The key for this project for us is the hospital. Because when we heard that the hospital was going to be tied to the mainland power project, it just made absolute sense to do something that the hospital will benefit totally from the process. And of course, the government works, so they've put in procedures where we are guaranteed of our payments. As a businessman first, you would look at your return on investment. Second of all, you look at what impact does it have on the society, which is where the hospital comes in. When we heard about the project, we decided to speak to Lagos State government, and processes were followed, and mainland power was born.
With further reforms of the power sector still being expected, investment opportunities will be opened for the establishment of more power stations and substations, manufacturing of transformers, meters, and natural gas pipelines. Just imagine a new 24-hour economy driven by stable power.
If people actually could focus on what it is they have to do and not focus on what should be the essentials in life, that automatically boosts our productivity. A company making this water bottle is spending 40% of their cost on generating power. So in effect, it leads into us paying more for what should essentially be cheaper to us. That's why we're not able to compete as a nation with products from other countries.
Oh, the impact is tremendous. It's the same impact we saw when we went into the project. If you go back to the environmental impact assessment, they were projects that potentially would add value to the institutions that we're providing it for. In the case of our Lausa, it was to create bulk efficiency by providing power to all the institutions of the Lagos State government. And already we know for a fact that since the IPP came to play, the level of productivity in the secretariat and adjoining quarters has been significant. We have situations where we're getting power to most locations at almost 97% of the time. So you can imagine how that compares with what we had hitherto when several generators were working and many hours were lost without power. In terms of the environmental value of having a gas-fired plant centrally, it takes out all the emissions of those over 120 or 130 generators odd that were in different parts of the Alausa environment. In terms of noise, we have a fully cladded noise-proof plant that creates no nuisance environmentally. And in terms of fuel, you know all the benefits of making it a gas-fired plant. We don't have all the issues you traditionally have and all the pollution that you traditionally have if you were running them on diesel or running them on other fuels.
As a reservoir of hydrocarbon resource such as crude oil and bitumen, opportunities are also available for the exploration and exploitation of these resources, including the establishment of oil refineries and petrochemical plants. With improved security and an aesthetic environment, world-class hotels and exotic 180-kilometer Atlantic waterfronts fringed with coconuts and sandy beaches, Lagos is experiencing a remarkable growth in tourism development. Today, convention centers, hotels and motels, restaurants, casinos and eateries, resorts and amusement parks, botanical and zoological gardens, as well as shopping malls and plazas are being established. All this still beckon on more investors for participation and exploitation, as Lagos aims to become the major tourist destination all across Africa. In recognition of the role of small and medium enterprises to rapid economic growth and development, Lagos State has undertaken a significant revitalization measure premised on their sustenance. This includes the establishment and maintenance of industrial estates and parks, provision of supportive enabling environment, integration of SMEs into the formal sector, provision of enhanced microcredit facilities with business and advisory services, establishment of investment and business data bank, and others. To complement these efforts, government seeks